Good morning and welcome to the show. My name is Koi. Now, choosing a wedding gown is one of the most important decisions a bride will make. Every bride wants the dress that is perfect for her, and a wedding dress is also expensive and should be a carefully considered purchase. Wedding planners advise that when planning to buy your gown, think about how far in advance you are planning your wedding, what time of the year the wedding will take place, and how extensive the alterations are likely to be. A number of people prefer to source for their wedding dresses from abroad, despite the presence of numerous stores within the country. Here's a look at one of them on Mid-Morning Lifestyle.
Getting married is an event that needs to be cherished and planned carefully. One of the most important decisions any bride-to-be has to make, of course, after choosing the right partner, is choosing the perfect wedding dress. It's not every day that you get married, so taking time to shop for that perfect dress cannot be stressed enough. As if finding that dress is not challenging enough, finding the store to begin with can prove to be a daunting task. Mid-morning came across the Next Boutique, located on Mpaka Road in Westlands, where we got to see some of the gowns available as well as get to hear some useful pointers to consider when shopping for that perfect dress.
I opened Next Boutique about 13 years ago. I felt that the bridal business is more important than what I was doing a general boutique. It's something that I feel that is more specialized, and that is the reason why I decided 13 years ago that this is what I want to do. Bridal is a very specialized business. It's very interesting. You are actually fulfilling dreams. You see, like every girl while she's growing up has this dream of a fairy tale wedding. Of course, I can't find their dream man for them, but once they do, I can try and create a beautiful fairy tale wedding for them.
Your dream comes true.
Nazira Dhalla is far from being green in this business.
Something that I have had since childhood, because my mother was a fashion designer. And I remember ever since I was like maybe 5 years old, I could think of a design and my mother would create that for me. And it's something I grew up with, so it's become part of me. And something over the years I felt I'm very passionate about, something I enjoy doing. And also I feel that I can really help the brides, because sometimes they are so confused, they have no idea what they want. And with the experience that I have, it makes their life so easy too, because once I see a bride, the shape, I know exactly what to give them. Okay, we carry all American sizes from size 0 to size 30. What I have realized is that brides who are very small, from 0 to 2, and the brides who are plus sizes are always very nervous about looking for a gown, because they feel that they're never going to find a gown their size. So I thought, it's good to bring them in, and also from my experience now, I'm also a designer, so I can create what they want with the sizes that they're looking for. Okay, I don't talk about this jewelry here.
The fabric you choose for your wedding day fashion statement will affect the movement, fit, and feel of your gown. So there are lots of factors to consider, but mainly think of the style, cut, drape, texture, and not forgetting the season.
Okay, we use organza, the bridal satin, taffetas, chiffon, georgettes, some silks, and some even a crinkled silk, which is coming in the latest designs right now. You could order a gown in a different fabric as long as you can wait the 3 months.
Choosing the wedding gown color depends on a number of factors, personal preference, religion, and traditions being at the top of the list. Purchasing a wedding dress can be an expensive affair. However, there are other payment options available for brides-to-be.
Layaway is an option, especially for people, you know, there is families who pull together resources to finance the wedding. So we try and have a layaway system, which, and we work with them. We have a flexible plan, in fact, that we create for a particular bride, like each one has their own flexible payment plan. You don't need to have an appointment at Next Boutique. However, if there's a bigger bridal party, it's advisable to book an appointment, because that makes your life easier.
Reality television shows such as Whose Wedding Is It Anyway documents the journey of a couple making their wedding plans from the beginning up to the actual wedding day.
Take a look and show me what you think she'd like.
Can't be two-tone, can't be taffeta, can't be chiffon. No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not.
It is in such shows that we get to see just how frustrating the wedding planning process can be. When things don't go according to plan, some women are said to turn into bridezillas.
What I have felt from my experience, that a bride who is a bridezilla actually lacks confidence. And what I've learned is that, you know, if you give her the comfort, you understand what she's looking for, and the confidence, and actually deliver what you promise, they become your best clients. Next Boutique was one of the first boutique to win an award of excellence from Samantha's Bridal. It was for our creativity, our products, the service, and how we put together a wedding. It had a lot of criteria which we had met, and it was a pride for us to receive that award. It takes about 3 months from the time you order. But what we do is we normally have a lot of gowns in the shop that are ready to wear. So majority of the times the bride walks in, she finds what she's looking for. For as much as we can, we try and help them from what we have. If we feel that that's not exactly what she wants, we do have another store at the Nakumet Junction where she can go and visit and see if she can find a dress there.
Speaking of gowns, Nazira takes us through some of the styles and silhouettes found at her boutique.
Okay, this is a mermaid gown which can show all the curves, flowy at the bottom. The fabric is taffeta with not too much beadwork. What is the twist to this gown is that it's a halter, but it's a halter with a collar. Now this is something for a bride who does not want to wear a strapless gown to church. So she could either keep the collars up, or she could even flatten this and go that way. For the reception, she can actually remove this and have a strapless gown, which I think is very good all-in-one gown.
At the knee, the dress flares out with volume all the way through to the hem. The mermaid silhouette is glamorous and extremely flattering. The best thing about the mermaid dress is that it flatters the lines of the body. The mermaid dress can prove to be difficult to walk in, so ensure that seams are well fitted. Any accessory that you choose to wear should complement your wedding gown.
Okay, when a bride picks her jewelry, she has to make sure the neckline. Never buy jewelry before your gown, jewelry and shoes, because you don't know the length of your gown, and for the jewelry you don't know your neckline. Now this is a V-neck, so something coming down always looks nice. You can never wear a round necklace for a V-neck. The train is not overly big. The fabric is taffeta, quite light to carry around. The tail, you will notice that there is not much beadwork. However, we leave it for the bride to decide. If she feels she wants more beadwork, we do the beadwork for her. Again, it goes back to if there is time, there's so much that can be accomplished. This is a halter gown with collars. She could even put it that way so she doesn't have too much a bare back for a bit of conservative brides. Again, going back to the beadwork, We have done a lot of weddings. The theme is peacock. And this would be ideal for a wedding like that. This is a Cinderella gown. The fabric is net with some Swarovski stones. A beautiful gown with a bride who has a small waistline, bigger hips, which she doesn't want to show. And the back has string effect, so it gives you a corset fit. So what we focus on, the tiny waistline, the hips are hiding there, but we don't make them wear a heavy skirt. In fact, for somebody with bigger hips, we try to avoid the skirt because already they get a flow with the bigger hips. So this is something that makes a bride very happy too, because she looks very tiny and has that Cinderella flow. The jewelry, again, it's a V-neck, so I would recommend a V necklace. What is also good is fascinators. These have become very popular after the Middleton wedding. For a bride to church, she can wear a veil, which we provide with the gown. Once they are out of church, it's a good idea to wear the fascinator. It looks very elegant. This is the back of the Cinderella gown with a corset fit. This is what I mean by corset, to give you a snug fit. I always feel a bride's gown should fit snugly to show all the curves. That's the string effect. The beauty about this is that it's adjustable in case you have bought your gown 4 months before the wedding and you put on weight. It's adjustable, so that there's flexibility there. The train is a good size train, circular. For the reception, we try and hook it up for the bride, so that way she has the comfort of moving about, dance and enjoy the wedding. She doesn't have to drag the train everywhere she goes. This is an A-line gown. The fabric is bridal satin. This is for someone, again, like I said, who has a little pot and doesn't want to show. Not necessarily pregnant, because I feel that this is quite heavy for a pregnant woman to wear. So anyway, the pleats hide the stomach. The waistline can be, with a corset back, it really gives a small waistline. Very comfortable. Brides feel very good in a gown like this because it shows what they want to show. The veil, these are the veils we give with the gowns. The fascinator is an option for the reception. It goes quite well. The jewelry, again, like I mentioned, the neckline. You see why I'm giving this, because it's a straight neck here.
The A-line is said to be a universal figure-flattering silhouette. This is because A-line dresses have many figure-flattering characteristics, which include giving petite brides a taller appearance, adding feminine curves to a straight figure, de-emphasizing wide waistlines, and hiding a heavier bottom half. There are a number of variations of the A-line silhouette wedding gown, and this is just one of them.
Train is circular, it's a good size. There's beadwork at the edge. Again, like I said, if the bride wishes to have more beads, we can always do that. The veil goes very well with the gown. Sometimes there are beads used on the gown, are not on the veil. We try and create that so that it looks like part of the gown. The back is a corset fit, gives flexibility to the bride. If she does put on weight or she loses weight, she can always tighten or loosen. This gown too, you can hook up the tail for the reception. So that's how it goes. This is a gown for a bride who is very pregnant and she's getting married. So I would recommend a gown like this, which is chiffon. It's light, it's a sleeveless gown, of course. We will put some lace here to cover that to her specification. Not heavy beaded, easy to carry around and very comfortable. What I would recommend, she could wear a veil or she could wear a small fascinator. I think it would look very cute the way it is. Light jewelry, because already she's big, she doesn't want to decorate herself too much, and because I feel that pregnant women, they already feel so much heat, and a gown like that would be very comfortable. I have had brides who have run from shop to shop to shop to look for a gown. Finally, they come here, they found their gowns, and because of all the running around they were doing, not realizing what they're doing to themselves, a couple of them actually miscarried their baby, and that was very, very sad. So this is a very important tip for brides who are pregnant. Please take it easy. Of course, we'll have a beautiful wedding. Find your gown and relax. It's an empire waist gown, and it gives you a nice hold. There's a bit of elastic in there to give you the comfort, because that is also important. Now that's the back. It has enough gathers here in case she's purchased this earlier and she puts on more weight. There's enough room for her to fill it up. The lower back is good, not overly low, and it just flows. These are the two examples of wedding gowns that are not the traditional white gowns. This one is blue, it's a pickup. You can see why it's called pickup. Okay, it's a taffeta, beautiful beadwork, matching fascinator. This one is a pink organza. It's a two-piece gown, light to carry. In fact, after the ceremonies, she can actually remove the top layer, and there is a skirt underneath which she can walk around with the top. It's an option for brides who want colored gowns. This is the back of a gown, a colored gown. These gowns can also be used for renewal of the vows, because you've worn your white or an off-white gown when you're getting married. Down the road, it's always a good idea to pick something with color. So this is ideal, something you will be able to use again for other functions, and it won't just sit in your wardrobe. Don't make a dress into a Christmas tree, because sometimes the brides feel that the more the beads, the better the bride. I don't feel that way, because sometimes simple is also very good.
The best thing about some wedding gowns is their two-in-one function. Some gowns are made in such a way that the bride can wear them for the wedding ceremony and the reception as well. This way, a bride does not have to budget for two separate gowns if she wants to have a different look during the course of her special day.
This is a gown which is not very expensive. However, it doesn't look cheap. The fabric is bridal satin. It's a simple gown, does not have a very long tail. However, we can give her a very long veil for church, which will be pretty good with this gown. Now this is a long veil, which is good for gowns like this. They don't have a big tail for church. It's pretty long and it can be removed right after the wedding. It's not heavy to carry. This is also a good option for a pregnant bride, because these are quite light. See how these colors combine with each other now. Maybe the maid of honor can wear something like that, and the maids could wear the lilac, but the trimming combines the colors together. I would recommend the gown should remain in a zipper bag and in your wardrobe, but not too squashed among your other clothes, because you want to allow enough space not to crush the gown, and it's fine. It's for as long as you keep it in there, it will remain the same.
According to history, the bridal veil has long been a symbol of youth, modesty, and virginity, and was used to ward off evil.
These are some of the long veils, very beautiful. They can be worn like that, or we normally put a comb in there to lift it up a bit, something like that, something different. We can add beads to that too, and it falls to the side. You see that? Of course, her hair is done, so it will hold better, but that's the effect. And I feel that, you know, a bit of beads, I always suggest to the bride, can make it look very nice. Gowns that don't have a very long train, this is a good idea to wear because it's beautiful, the length is good, something you can remove later, you don't have to drag the long train behind you all the time. Also, something like this is optional because there are some big weddings we have done where a bride wants a very, very long veil. There's a wedding we did, she wanted 18 meters of veil, and we actually created for her. This is a 2-layer veil. It's good. I recommend this for a very rich gown, very heavily beaded gown, because you want something simple then. Just the scallops. You bring this to the front because there's enough beads. I do not want to scatter more. Just the scallops and simple, nice. And this is a 2-layer veil. Also, this is recommended for a bride who is petite because you don't want to drown her into big, big veils. And something like that would be perfect for her. You see, it's not too fluffy, too much crowding her. Okay, and see the back? It's light. Now, when one layer is in the front, there's just this here because this is for a gown that's very rich, very beaded. Now, this is a beaded veil. This is something, it's called a Norwegian veil. Comes to the front, oops, and we just put a comb here to hold. That's how it sits on the bride. A lot of times we try and put some lace at the edge if the bride wishes so. I don't want to crowd you too much, but this is also very popular. And we can again give you the length you want. So 4 meters is average, but we can also make it longer than that, depending on what the bride wants.
Moving away from the gowns, the shoes that you choose to wear should blend in with your gown.
We like to keep shoes that are very comfortable because we're dealing with brides, we're dealing with bridesmaids, the family of the bride who are going to be on their feet all day, running around. With these shoes, it has a long enough heel, very, very comfortable. In fact, the brides tell me they feel they're walking on sponge when they wear these shoes. The beauty about these shoes is that the heel doesn't poke into the ground if you have a garden wedding. And also, it can be cleaned at home, very easily in fact. The ribbons you can tie around your ankle and tie a little bow to the side, which looks very pretty when it's on. Now these we have in many colors, and we have them in all sizes. good for the bride for her evening party or for the maids, depending on what color they are wearing. It comes in a couple of colors. Also very pretty on, very comfortable. I do not recommend the bride and the maids to wear closed shoes. I think for functions, you should try and wear strappy shoes or something that holds at the ankle. They look very feminine with the gown and the kind of dresses that you're going to wear. Also, I feel that a lot of maids, I see them running around looking for blue shoes and green shoes and colorful shoes to blend with her bridesmaids' dresses. There's a small tip for them. It's always a good idea to wear silver. If there's a bit of silver in your dress, or even if it doesn't, silver blends with all colors. It looks pretty. It's something you will use again. If you're going to buy an orange shoe, where are you going to wear it again? These are very beautiful shoes for a bride who, they're very comfortable, but it's for a bride who can wear a bit higher heel than the ones that we just saw. I call them Cinderella shoes because they're so cute, they're so beautiful. Our brides love them. And these two are available in different colors, different sizes, and very comfortable.
The maid of honor is responsible for attending to all the bride's needs, including touching up on her makeup and carrying any necessary things for the bride. For that reason, the Next Boutique has an array of beautiful clutch bags which can not only be used for the wedding ceremony, but future functions as well.
The challenges that we face is when a bride walks in with 4 to 6 maids looking for her gown. And what happens is that when she's looking, each one has a different opinion, which I feel that it's not a good idea for the bride because she gets so confused. And a lot of times I feel that she buys something that's not her. There is nothing wrong in taking someone when you're looking for a gown, a close friend or a relative who can help, you can trust and who can help you choose the right gown. We open from 9 to 5:30. We are open through lunch. We are open 6 days, Monday to Saturday. Saturday we close at 5 p.m. I've seen brides that start shopping like maybe 3 weeks before the wedding. And then all the frustration comes in for them. For me, I'm fine. I can work on a bride even if her wedding is a week away. But for themselves, I always feel that they should enjoy the process. This is the most important time in a woman's life. One of the other tips I'd like to give, once the bride has identified her gown, the maids, what color they are wearing, what design they would like to wear, which I can provide. What I have realized over time that uniforms are quite outdated. People don't want same dresses for the maids. What we do here is we show them a color once they know which color they want to use. We show them different designs in that color and we create something into the dress that is different from the other. So it makes a wedding very interesting. And I've noticed that when you go to a wedding when the maids are wearing same color, different designs, it looks very beautiful. I've seen even men taking interest because when a bridesmaid walks in, wow, that's different. The second one, like they actually wait what the third one is wearing. Whereas when you're wearing all same, the third one walks in and it's the same thing. You get busy chatting with your neighbor. So that I felt would be a good idea to, create something different. What I love the most is when a bride comes in to collect her gown. The look on her face and the hug she gives me. It's a lot of fun doing that, and the final product, when it's all done and she's collecting, I mean, that's the best part of my job because that is the joy that no money can buy. That it gives me such a, you know, a good feeling.
And who can say what your heart cries when your love lies only time?
The Eve Sisters conferences focused on providing mentorship programs to women all over the country. Now, we're not yet done with the motivational talk on Eve Sisters, so stay tuned for that.
Nelson Mandela came out of prison. The same system that imprisoned him was the same system that embraced him. Why? Because he identified his lever to move South Africa. What was it? It wasn't money. It wasn't material capital. It wasn't intellectual capital. It wasn't experience capital. What experience did he have? Being a revolutionist? Being an ex-con? He had this brilliance. And what he did was, he asked himself the question. It's the power of the question. How can I move my nation? And what do I have? He's looking at a rugby team that has lost every game. And he has this crazy idea. I could galvanize a nation around a losing rugby team. But it wasn't the losing rugby team. Because sports is a form of cultural capital. Sports, arts, performing, fine arts, languages. This is all a part, religion. This is all a part of the cultural capital. He didn't turn to religion. He turned to sports. This is a part of his trust. He is a beneficiary, but he's also a utility. So he's going to utilize, but he's also going to pour back so that when it's leverage, it turns into wealth. And he turned a nation around, affected the GDP, GNP, changed the brand that South Africa once had. People want to do business with South Africa, even though they're having shaky times right now. The fact is, one man found a fulcrum, which was the political system, found the leverage, which was culture, and he moved all of South Africa towards a vision of one people. Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum upon which to place it, and I will move the world. Gandhi, a lawyer. Gandhi. What is his fulcrum and what is his lever? It's going to blow you away. His fulcrum is nonviolence. His lever is one principle taken out of a Christian Bible. He himself is a what? A Hindu out of a Christian Bible. Changed the trajectory. Moved India. His lever was one teaching of Jesus Christ. Turn the other cheek. And he took an entire country, snatched it from out of British rule. One man, a short, thin Indian, using a Christian principle as a Hindu. What is wrong with the world? As strange as it may seem, the church. Why? Because the church hasn't figured out who she is. Well, Dr. Trim, how could you say that? Because it's a pink elephant and it stinks and we have walked around it long enough. Because if one Hindu could use one scripture from out of a Christian Bible to change his nation, Why is it that Christian nations cannot move their nation towards being a better country, towards more humane? Because we don't know what kind of capital we've got in our hands. Let me bring this in because my time is up. We've got 12 forms of capital. We know how to convert it. But we don't just want money. Zimbabwe had money. Greece had money. The United States has money. Greece has money. Iceland has money. And their economic systems are collapsing. So it's not the conversion problem that we have. It's the leveraging. That's our conversation. A picture is worth 1,000 words. And here's my final picture. The next one, please. The one before that. I'm sorry. My final picture. You can go back 2 slides. I told you already that I'm going to be a little clumsy. I apologize in advance. When I was preparing this, I had so much that I wanted to say. I said, how can I say it? How can I just stimulate conversation? This is what I call a capital conversion table. Let me explain what this is. If you look to your left and right, you have production and innovation. You remember we had the first circle with the world turning. If you notice to the left and right, you have capital utilities. These are all the utilities that are on my left and right. These are individual, businesses, government. What happens is it's like the water cycle. It's the capital conversion cycle. It's just like water. What is happening is this, that the capital trustees are transferring it, and then it's falling like droplets of rain in an economic reservoir. What is happening in the world and many countries is this, that the water level or the reservoir level in our economy is going lower and lower because we've created a cycle. We're using the same kind of cycle, and more people are jumping in. And it's just money just circulating, and people are saying the money is running out. So how do I secure money? Not wealth. How do I secure money? Well, let's create ingenious ways of getting money. Hence corruption. The water table is getting lower and lower, and people are getting greedier and greedier. Hence the appetite shift. We have greed and corruption, Enron, everything that's happening with IMF, all of these major corporations, greed, greed, greed. Why? Because all people see is this conversion cycle. Listen to me, capital conversion cycle. But I told you the answer is not in conversion. It's in leveraging. We want to move this nation beyond where we have. But what happens is we keep talking differently, but we have the same cycle. And the cycle needs to be broken. Why? Because the more we see the capital reserves, like the water table, getting less and less, corruption increases. Do we really have a corruption problem? No. What kind of problem do we have? We have a leveraging problem, and it's time to break the cycle. As long as everybody is jumping, eventually one day the reservoir dries up. We know how the cycle goes. If no water is going up, there is none coming down. And when none is coming down, you move into poverty, and entire systems within your communities collapse. I can look at Burundi. I can look at Somalia. I could keep naming it. So what people do, I call it the scent of a rose. A government says we're going to stimulate the economy. We're going to give small business loans. So you give small business loans, someone starts a rose business. All of the other neighboring villages are not making any money. And so they run and they say, we smell roses. We found out that that village over there is making a whole lot of money. So let us just rush over there. And so let us benefit. And so now all of the little neighboring villages have set themselves up around Nairobi, around Lagos, the scent of a rose. The infrastructures cannot sustain the numbers that are coming into the city. And so the city's quality of life is declining. This is a true story. And what happened was the villages outside did not have the proper infrastructure. So the waters that they were using to irrigate the roses, they were washing their clothes. They were bathing in the water. They were pilfering the water. Some of the roses way down on the other side of the farm was drying up, and they were wondering, what is happening? Until they found out that people wanted to stay in the same cycle, but nobody wanted to break the cycle and talk about leveraging. And so that little city that was producing roses, their economic system began to collapse because more and more people were drying up. That reservoir, you see the reservoir? It's high now, was drying up and drying up.
Girls run the world, girls. Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? Who run the world, girls? What we run the world. Who run the world, girls, girls?
Ladies, I know that the wedding day is essentially all about you. However, figure out what your fiancé likes before you choose a style, especially for your wedding dress. After all, he essentially is the one you are dressing up for. Generally speaking, he's the one you want to impress. So make sure that you allocate ample time when shopping for a dress. Midmorning at standardmedia.co.ke is our address. Don't forget to check out our Facebook page as well. It's called KTN Midmorning. If you enjoy the show, then be sure to like our page.